Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to be talking about the number 6 movie on the countdown. Let me just make sure I'm right on that number. Um, of the top 12 of all time. It is The African Queen. Uh, no, I'm sorry. It's number 5. Excuse me. So we are in the top 5 countdown right now. Number 5, The African Queen. What can be said about this film? Well, first of all, most people don't think it's in the top 10. They would be wrong. The reason is that this is, besides Casablanca, arguably the greatest love story of all time. Except this one is actually about love and not about war. Casablanca, which I have listed, let me see where I have it listed here. Just kind of looking through here. I don't have it I have it pretty low on the totem pole. It's not one of my faves. Let's see, I don't know where I have it, so just give me one moment here. I'm looking through the 40s. I don't see it in the 40s. I don't even have it in the top 50s, to be honest with you. So that tells you where I believe Casablanca really is. I do think it is a good script. Like, don't get me wrong. As far as like the dialogue and the things in it, it's absolutely spectacular. But the overall impression I get from the movie is not too spectacular. So it's okay though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a very very good movie. It is in the top 100 films of all time. It's just not in the top 50 in my opinion. And I'll let you decide because I'll give you what number 50 is, and you tell me if you think Casablanca should be higher than that. So let's take a look. What do I have? I have listed at number 50, Godfather 2, The Deuce. So if you think that it is, then let me know. All right. So back to what I was saying about the African Queen. The African Queen is, at its very heart, a love story. It's a love story of opposites. Those are usually the best style of love story, most assuredly, because people that are exactly the same is a little boring. Hey, do you want to go to Billy Esquire's House of Pasta? Yeah, that's not very exciting as she likes Chinese and I like Italian, and we're never gonna meet. But um, this goes way deeper than that, though. I mean, this at the heart of it is the story of what what marriage is. I think this is the one of the best metaphors to marriage I've ever seen in my entire life. Um, just watch it and you'll understand. Like all the things that are so hard about marriage are kind of utilized in this. The growing resentment of always being together and all that kind of stuff is in this. But it's also an action kind of style film because the basic premise of this story is that they're taking the boat, the African Queen, down a particular river in Africa to get out to a sea. And it's Humphrey Bogart is the boat captain. He's kind of a rum runner slash. He brings supplies down these strips and things like that. Um, to Katharine Hepburn, who's the sister of a minister that gets killed in Africa, and she has nowhere to go, so he agrees to take her to the sea. And of course, he's a heavy boozer, a heavy drinker, and she's a devout kind of Christian thing. So it's very, very good movie to start off with. So again, what we're talking about is why is it in that? So give me one second. Okay, so we're talking about why is this movie one of the greatest of all time, and it's very very simple. Because at the heart of it, it is the greatest love story that we have told so far in cinema. So I can't think of any particular love story. English Patient is definitely good. Again, most of the major love stories that are are considered to be the deified sort of love stories are basically tragedies. That's why I don't get into that, because like at the heart of love is not supposed to be tragedy. So I think at the heart of love is love. So and I do think that love stories are important because that's a particular genre that is very well liked by a lot of people. I can remember my grandparents saying that they liked watching Dr. Zhivago together and things like that, or Casablanca or whatever. So and they stayed married for a long time. So that was obviously a key, not a key to their success. Oh my God, yeah, basically Casablanca and Dr. Zhivago was a key to the success of my grandparents' marriage. I'm going to make a bold statement here, okay? There's nothing, if you don't watch Casablanca and Dr. Zhivago several times a year, your marriage will fail. There's nothing else you can do, other than have kids. No, of course not. But I would say that was a key. What I was trying to say was it was a key part of their viewing together. That's what I was trying to say. So why are love stories so important? Because basically from the time you're 18 or maybe even younger, love becomes a devout interest of you. You want to experience love and be part of love, and this is basically like the most adult thing that you can do is be in love. That's really the most adult thing. And not only that, it was directed by John Huston, and John Huston's a fantastic director. There's a really cool story, backstory to this particular movie, and I don't mind sharing it because, again, not a lot of people talk about African Queen in the realms that I do, but I will, because I'll take a stand. Obviously, you can see my shirt. I've been pro Bride of Frankenstein for a long time, like at least 4 or 5 years. When John Huston wanted to shoot this film, I can't remember if it's MGM. It was one of the big ones. It's I don't think it was Universal. I don't have the actual DVD. I wish I did. I don't know why. I thought I had it, and then I went to look for it, and I was like, oh my God, I don't have the African Queen. So yeah, that's not going to work. I'll have to get that. But okay, so anyway, so whatever major company it was that did this particular film was like, okay, we'll get this movie set up. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Humphrey Bogart and John Huston were man's men, to say the least, quote unquote. We don't really have a lot of men like them nowadays, okay? We do to a certain degree, but not like this, okay? All these guys did when they got together was drink and smoke, okay? They would drink and they would smoke, and they didn't live very long. They were not. Huston lived a little bit longer than Bogart, but Bogey, he was a notorious smoker and drinker. So he partied hard. But these two wanted to get together and have a drinking and smoking and have whatever studio pay for it, and they also wanted to hunt African prey. They want to go on safari. So they convinced the company that financed this film that they were going to shoot a film while they went down and did that. And they did. They did safari, they drank, they smoked, they had a blast, and they made one of the greatest films of all time. So this proves to me one key thing is the worse you are with decision making, the better your film will be. So that's what I'm going to take away from all of that. I just happen to really like this film. I've liked this film from the first time I've watched it. I've watched it probably 10 to 15 times. I've never not liked it, if that makes sense. There's never been a point where I was like, this film's okay. No, this film is fantastic in every single way. It's not something that you'll ever... my mom's friend, I won't give her name because I don't know if she wants to be on here, but she loves this film. You know who you are if you do watch this. Because we used to sit in your house and watch this film. And so you know who you are. I got no problem calling out Eli. I don't give a fuck. I'll call out Eli, whatever. But this one, no, she may not want it. So yeah, Eli, take that. Um, so again, like I said, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little lost in this because I'm thinking about the scenes in there and how she's like this prim and proper, like this is not acceptable, and he's just like a drinker and smoker, boat boat supplier. He could care less, and yet they somehow try to fall in love, and they do, and that's the good part of the story. Um, and I gave you the backstory on it. There's not any particular camera things that were invented for this particular film. It's not anything like that. Um, in the top five, this is probably the one that has the least inventive camera techniques of all of them. Besides number what, 4? Is it number 4? I think it is number 4. Yeah, number 4 is the only other one that doesn't either. But number 4 is the greatest comedy film of all time. So, there you go. Because I do believe that love stories are important and comedies are important, but I do feel like this about comedies. Comedy is the other side of theater. All right. And it is the most universally overlooked for any type of acclamation. No matter how funny your film is, the Oscars will not be like, hey, that film is fucking hilarious. Let's put that in the let's make that our best picture. It just doesn't happen. There are no film. I can't think of any films, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that were made as comedies that have ever won the Oscar. I can't think of any. I'd have to go back and look. Like made as comedies. There's certainly funny elements in almost all Oscar winners, but there's never, I don't think, been a comedy that's won. And the reason the top 3 are the top 3 is because the first one, the number 1, is universally loved. It invented camera techniques, and it is the most storied of all of film history. Number 2 is they invented the most camera techniques of any particular film. It's a storied film anyway, and it was a director's achievement beyond measure. And number 3 is just a very technical masterpiece that is very, very good. And if you are a director, you have to watch this film. Number 3 is one that you'll have to watch if you want to be a director in any way, shape, or form. You cannot not watch it. But anyway, I think we're digressing here for a moment. But I just want to show you why I think the way that I do about the top 5. Okay, because number 5 is a love story. Number 4 is a comedy. Number 3 is 3 and 2 are both dramas, and number 1 is a family movie. So, and you've probably seen the list. I don't know. It doesn't matter if you have or you haven't. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know where I was coming from. And the African Queen, I guarantee you this. Okay, of all the films in the top 5. If you sit down to watch this with any number of people, you can take anybody from any history of anything, like any person, blah, 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 blah. Here's 1 person, 2 person, 3 person there. Okay? You can take any person and go down the line. And you could show them this film. And if they are an adult, they will probably like this film. I don't know what the percentage is. I have no idea because I've never sat down and did scientific research on how many people like the movie African Queen. I haven't. But I can tell you that pound for pound, this is the best film for the most people other than number 1, which is The Wizard of Oz. So, there you go. That's it. Again, I would highly recommend that you watch this film. I'm not sure where you can watch it for free. I'm not sure if TMZ or TCM online has this for free on demand. I hope they do. But yeah, you can always buy it on Turner Classic Movies and things like that. It is definitely worth a watch. You can watch it with the one that you love, and you'll both enjoy it. I guarantee you. This is a good date night movie. or a good stay-in date night movie, a rainy night date night movie. Wow, that was way too much. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, and until then, Auf Wiedersehen.